Our lives are made up of rules. Unconsciously, we follow hundreds of rules every day. Most of us follow a prescribed routine for brushing our teeth, for making our morning coffee, for driving in traffic. We have learned rules to help us cope with hundreds of everyday occurrences. When we are confronted by the loss of a loved one, it is only natural that we should go looking for rules to help us cope. Unfortunately, few of us are ever taught how to grieve. Isn't it strange that in a world where loss is inevitable, no one teaches a course on grieving? To be sure, such a course would vary drastically from country to country, and seemingly the people in some cultures are better at modeling appropriate grieving behavior than we Americans. But we rarely ever encounter anyone who is able to tell us how to go about grieving. Grief seems to happen to us rather than happen with our assent or participation. Ray's mom sent him to stay with the family of a boyhood friend immediately following his dad's death. Pat, his friend's mother, returned him to his home to be with his mother while she had people visit her during the days after his dad's death. During the drive home, Pat attempted to instruct Ray on appropriate ways to receive condolences from people. It was a tender attempt on her part to prepare a terrified 12-year-old boy for what was to come. But it was not an effort to teach Ray how to grieve for himself. It was an attempt to teach him how to help others deal with their grief. Too often in this country, it is the people who feel the loss most keenly who are given or who assume the responsibility for making everyone else feel better, particularly men. Does this sound rational? It doesn't to us. Perhaps we need to step back and honestly assess most of our assumptions in regard to grieving. We need to examine what we expect of ourselves as well as what others seem to expect of us, which form the rules of which we are speaking. When we perceive that a tradition will be detrimental to our emotional well-being, we need to give ourselves permission to break with tradition. The only rules to which we really need to pay attention are the ones presented to us in Scripture. So, if we feel the need to weep openly in a public place, but our sense of propriety tells us we must not, we need to step back and examine that prohibition. Are we worried about what others will think? Perhaps they will think, I know just how he or she feels. I felt the same way when I lost my loved one. I wish I had had the guts to weep openly like that. Maybe then I would have healed more readily. What we might fear is that they will think, well, that's silly. Doesn't he see how uncomfortable he's making people? Can't he express his grief in private? Following the death of his beloved wife, C.S. Lewis noticed people deciding whether or not to mention his loss as they approached him. He said that he hated it when they did mention it, and he hated it when they didn't. That is the predicament in which many people find themselves when they come upon us after the death of someone we love. It will ease things for everyone if we can acknowledge the awkwardness people may feel and give them permission to respond as best they can. It will also free us to be ourselves, acknowledging the full force of our feelings. Of course, there are people who are uncomfortable with any hint of emotion. Not everyone handles emotional expressiveness well. If we choose to express our feelings openly, then we will also need to be accepting of others who indicate to us that they are disturbed by it. Their distress should never prevent us from continuing to express our sorrow honestly, but it may lead us to be selective about those with whom we choose to be so expressive in the future. The point is that we will be healthier and more realistic if we do not simply assume that everyone in our world is so fragile that we dare not burden them with our true feelings. Let them tell us if they are distressed by our sorrow. Perhaps we will be teaching a mini-course on grieving, helping others to learn to face their experiences, both the tragic and the joyous, with honesty and courage. Today, vow to be real with your friends and family, and be accepting of the ways in which people handle your reality. Truly, there is nothing to lose and so much to be gained.